Yes, it's John G. Sutton, Tales from the Jails. Today I want to talk a little bit about a very famous inmate, Charlie Bronson. Charlie Salvador, as he calls himself now. He's coming up for parole, and he's been in. You have a look. He's in the news. He's sending out a plea, to let him free. Let me free. Yeah, he's a good boy, but apparently some kind of requirement is for him to play drafts or some board games with prison staff. It's completely ridiculous, the idea that Charlie Bronson's going to do that. I mean, he spent the last 50 years kind of treating them as the enemy, which, from where Charlie Bronson is, they have been. I mean, don't forget, he's been in a cage inside a prison. A cage, not just an ordinary cell. He'd been held in a cage. And the reason that they did that to him, because he's been assaulting prison staff over the years, because he's got this kind of, or he had this kind of attitude, but he hasn't done anybody for 5 years. He hasn't. I mean, he was found not guilty, I think it's just over 3.5 years ago, of physically assaulting one of the governors. Charlie doesn't like governors, you see. Now, I didn't never cross Charlie's path. He has been reading my articles in the past. He had one of them pasted on the wall of his cell, an article that I wrote for The Guardian in June the 8th, 1990. It was called Loose Screws, about the unofficial control system that was operating in strange ways immediately before the riot. Things like provoking inmates, pissing in the soup, ripping up the mail, spitting in the porridge in strange ways jail, that kind of thing, And I wrote about that in The Guardian, and Charlie Bronson got a copy and pasted it on the cell of his wall. So, I mean, he's obviously got a great taste in reading. Well done, Charlie. And I do believe that there's no real reason to keep him incarcerated. All right, they gave him a life sentence. They said it was for attempted murder, but I mean, didn't murder anybody. He has badly beaten a number of people, and Charlie's got this thing about sex offenders, doesn't like sex offenders. Thinks it's earns a few points if he knuckles one of them, but it really doesn't in prison. It just means you're going to stay in prison a little bit longer. I believe he's going to get parole this time, and with a little bit of luck, he'll stay out of jail. But I mean, some of the things he's done. I mean, taking people hostage. I mentioned previously about he took two terrorists hostage and made them tickle his feet. Yeah, that was one of the punishments. He made them call him the general. Well, there's nothing wrong with being a general, is there, Charlie? Yeah. I believe that the time has come. He's 70 years old as well. Goodness me. I mean, the desire to actually be aggressive fades with time, And now at 70 years old, I would believe he is reasonably safe. I wouldn't provoke him myself, but I believe he's reasonably safe to be on the doors. But then again, I'm not on the parole board. Now listen, there is one thing you want to know about Charlie Bronson's parole. It's been done in public. I believe it may even be filmed. I don't know, but it's been held in public. Yeah, and so everybody can see how the parole board operates. He says this is to expose the system. Well, having been party to a number of parole hearings, taking inmates in, and you're just there to make sure that nobody gets attacked, or if the inmates decide that they're going to attack, then you step in and kind of prevent it to the best of your ability. Seriously, you do. So that's my experience of the parole boards, and generally speaking, they, in my opinion, have made a real attempt, to be reasonably fair. I mean, obviously you get people who go in there who are abusive and they aren't really going to get parole because the parole board want you to accept, that there is a rule of law and there is authority and you're going to abide by it. And if you're not going to abide by it, then you stay in prison. That's basically it, yeah. And some people just will not. And Charlie Bronson will not, or he has not up till now. But apparently 5 years he's gone by without attacking anybody. No staff, no governor's not attacked anybody. So come on, Charlie Bronson. I think it's time to get out there. Don't think he's going back to his bare knuckle boxing. I don't think he is. No, he'll be going back to live in peace. Yeah. Spend the last 40 years of your life outside of prison. That will be the idea. I've seen quite a few inmates go up for parole and they just get knocked back. Because basically, as I say, they don't want to conform. And if they don't conform inside the walls of the prison, then the parole board concludes that you're not going to conform when you get outside of the prison. Whereas the problem with conforming inside the prison is that you get certain prison officers who don't want you to conform, and therefore they will wind you up. Yeah, wind you up like a clockwork mouse and set you free. Then the hammer comes down and you're staying inside. And a lot of inmates, when they get rejected for parole the first time, which is usual, happens, somebody who's serving life, after, 8-10 years or something like that, if they got a minimum sentence, will get seen by the parole board. The general rule is that they'll get knocked back the first time. So they've got to wait another year, and that must be terrible. I mean, you're expecting to get out, you've been on good behaviour for 10 years, but no, not back. Listen, my belief is that Charlie Bronson's going to get out, and you mark my words, listen to John here, you're going to see him on TV. Yeah, they'll do a program about Charlie Bronson when he gets out. In the meantime, I sincerely hope that you're all enjoying my little channel here. Subscribe, like, and all the rest of it. And guess what? It's come to that certain time. Some people have been passing comments about my wife, saying she must have a sense of humour. No, she don't. She absolutely hates the singing. So when I ring the song dinger, she runs out. But you haven't, have you? You've stayed. I've warned you. So here we go. This is a song made famous by Johnny Cash. I like Johnny Cash. And it's his first record, first big hit. Yeah, Cry, Cry, Cry. Everybody knows where you go when the sun goes down. I think you only live to see the lights of town. I wasted my time when I would try. 'Cause when the lights have lost their glow, you'll cry, cry, cry. Soon your sugar daddies will all be gone. You'll wake up some cold day and find you're all alone. You'll call for me, but I'm gonna tell you bye, bye, bye. When I turn around and walk away, you'll cry, cry, cry. You're gonna cry, 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 and you'll cry alone. When everybody's forgotten, you're left on your own. You're gonna cry, cry, cry. I lie awake at night to wait till you come in. You stay a little while and then you're gone again. Every question that I ask, I get a lie, lie, lie. For every lie you tell, you're gonna cry, cry, cry. When your fickle love gets old, no one will care for you, then you'll come back to me for a love that's true. I'll tell you no, and then you'll ask me, why? When I remind you of all this, you'll cry, cry, cry. You're gonna cry, cry, and you'll want me then. It'll hurt when you think of the fool you've been. You're gonna cry, cry, cry. There you go. Hope you've enjoyed that. Subscribe and all the rest of it. Thank you very much.